Oh yeah. Call me Martha Stewart because I'm cooking. So next up on the list, we've got these taillights that are gonna go in the brown truck. They're just some cheap eBay lights, but we're going to try to separate them, and then we can paint the outer part. We can also paint the inner under the lens and color match it all so it will look sick. So we're gonna put them in the oven. I'm gonna start slow because these lights, the cheap ones, it's kind of risky. You don't know if they're gonna warp or melt. Not like factory lights, they can handle more heat. So we're gonna start probably 200 degrees, put it in there for about 5 minutes, and go from there. So I'm gonna get this thing heating up. This is the only time I cook, guys. What do you want? Bake. 250. Start. Alright, we're just gonna let that heat up and then we'll put them in. We are preheated, 250. Oh, probably should have pulled that rack out first. But we'll do that now. Now that it's nice and hot. Set our light in there. Make sure not touching anything hot. Looks like it's all right. We're gonna set a timer for 5 minutes as a baseline, and we're just gonna let it bake. Looks delicious. All right, time is up. Let's turn this thing off. Doesn't look melt. Maybe it is melted. Did I already ruin it? I don't know. Oh yeah. Already ruined. Well, that didn't work. So clearly the oven did not work. So, wasn't gonna give up though. We got them apart. So here it is. Ended up having to cut it. So, took way longer than I would have liked to. But, went ahead and cut her on the backside. Super ugly right now. Don't worry about it because, or at least I'm not worried about it because I'll paint it, re-glue it, and then I'll probably end up painting over the black anyways. So I'll just bring it in about 1/4 inch. And I'll paint a brown outline around the whole light. I'll also paint the plastics here. So it'll all be brown, look super cool. Brown light here. But basically guys, what I wanna say is don't be afraid to try this kind of stuff on your own. I know you can buy these lights for $300, $400, sometimes $1,000. I saw $2,000, they were the same lights off Amazon. I could tell they were the same. Don't be afraid to try this stuff yourself. If you mess it up, you're out $100, but you learn something. And odds are, if you just take your time and think about what you're doing, you're not even gonna mess it up. And then you'll do it yourself and you'll be way happier with it when it's done because you did it yourself and you didn't go out and spend a bunch of money to get some lights or anything in general that you could have done yourself, and you can put that money towards something you can't do yourself. So that's what I like to do. So as you can see, we messed one up, but we got this one here done. And we're gonna keep rolling. All right, we got a headlight cooking in there right now. As you can see, I think we're gonna have better luck with this. I did a test headlight, one of my old ones, and it came apart. So let's hope these are the same. There is the timer. Let's get this thing out of here. Oh yeah. Call me Martha Stewart, because I'm cooking. All right, I'm gonna get to peeling. All right, so with a little bit of work and a whole lot of patience, we got all our lights ready to be masked, scuffed, and prepped. And we'll get some color on them. So it's gonna look good. All right, we got these lights based. Now we're gonna unmask them, which I already did this one. You can see, scuffed it up, so we're gonna clear that and it'll all be seamless. We got the internals of the taillights painted. And we got the headlights housings painted, so we're gonna clear them now and put them back together. The clear is definitely still soft. So we're gonna let this stuff bake out here in the sun. I can unmask these headlights, reflectors, maybe start putting it together. So we got our housing here. We're gonna wipe down the inside. Make sure it's really clean, because once you seal it up, you can't get it in here anymore. So. So we got the light here. In the process of gluing it back together, already did this little part. We're using some of this JB clear weld. It doesn't really need to be clear, but I use the clear just in case it oozes down somewhere we don't want it. At least it'll be clear, not black or super noticeable. So I'm gonna move on to the next spot. I'm gonna try to keep this thing angled down, so if it does ooze, it's gonna ooze away from the center toward the outside. So let's go. All right, now it's time to put the headlights together. These are super easy. It's literally just reverse. So we got the oven heated up to 220. We are going to set this in there. 5 minutes. and let it get hot. All right, 5 minutes is up. Pull these things out. Set it on the table. And we got the glue nice and hot, so now we're just gonna pop this lens right back on. Just like that. Headlights are back together. Let it dry, cool off. They'll be all good. If you're really worried about it, put a bead of silicone around the outside, then you know there's no leaks. Let's do the next one. So, we got the taillights done. They're a little dirty, but as you can see, all brown. And they work, so that's a good thing. This one's dirty, but you can see it's all done. You can see where I glued the back of it there, but it's all sealed. We got the headlights done. Got them in. Almost look black, but turn the. You can see a little bit of the brown in there. So, not a huge change from the black, but they're done. So guys, that is how you separate your lights, whether you do the oven or you cut them open. Each method doesn't work for all lights all the time, so you always gotta make sure you know whether to cut or heat, because you don't wanna ruin them like I did. And that's how you paint them, mask them, and put them back together. So I don't want to discredit the guys that do this for a living, because the prices they charge are really in line with how much labor it takes to do lights like this. It's really time consuming. The whole process is very tedious, but you can do it yourself. So don't be afraid to buy some cheap lights and spend some hours tearing into it, because when it's all said and done, you'll have sweet lights. You'll pay a fraction of the cost, and you did it yourself. So that's how you do it. Check out my next video. We're gonna be putting this thing all together, and it's gonna be looking sick. So like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm gonna post some more videos. So we'll see you guys on the next one.